In everyday life at hospitals and care facilities, the interaction of all forces is essential for the well-being of patients. This naturally requires an optimal coordination of processes and the best possible communication between everyone involved. The focus is on nursing and medical care of patients. The Nurse Call and Communication System, Visocall IP, simplifies work procedures and the daily routine of everyone involved in the care process. In particular, it supports care staff with routine activities and saves time. Thus, more time is available for patients and their essential care. The main functions of Visocall IP are patient calls and the communication between patients and personnel. This function allows to quickly call colleagues for help in case of an emergency. Targeted communication between staff for rapid exchange of information. With this function, you'll always find the right colleague. This saves staff from having to walk long distances and leaves more time to focus fully on patient care. For patients, Visocall IP offers comfort through numerous functions, such as listening to music, operating the TV, making phone calls, switching lights on and off, or operating blinds. Combinations of different devices are available, tailored to the specific needs of the establishment. That's why different possibilities and devices are shown. Please select the ones that apply to your facility. When a call for help is made, the patient takes top priority. The call for help can be activated by the patient himself directly from the patient bed, from sanitary areas, at the terminals next to room doors, and in other common areas by means of the call buttons, which are clearly visible on the nurse call units. Visocall IP offers more than just patient calls. Seiko Care Assist can be used to generate predefined special calls using the surface call buttons on some handheld units. The diagnostic socket of various connection modules allows easy integration of additional information from medical devices such as infusion pumps or pressure mats. All calls are indicated by corresponding room signal lights in the corridors. Visocall IP also offers call forwarding, which allows calls to be displayed in other rooms too. When entering a room, staff can register their presence on the respective terminal. In this way, Visocall IP identifies the locations of the care staff. The nursing staff uses the green button for this purpose. Doctors and medical personnel use the blue button, and service staff the yellow one. If you have an RFID terminal, the respective presence is activated contactless using an RFID card. The set presences allow each call for help to be displayed where the respective staff are currently located. Depending on the type of unit, visual, audible, or both indications are activated. You can recognize the call location and the type of call by the symbol, the text, and the acoustic signal. This allows calls to be answered and processed as quickly as possible. Resetting or canceling the calls is possible at various points. Firstly, directly at the terminal in the respective room. And secondly, in the case of devices with speech communication via remote query from another room, the nurse's station, or mobile terminals. If no voice connection can be established to a call station, you will receive a corresponding message. In this case, the call location must be visited immediately. If there are multiple simultaneous calls, you can select a particular call on the communication terminal using the scroll buttons. Pressing the query key on the communication terminal allows you to answer a pending call and establish a voice connection with the calling patient. Answering the call resets the call automatically. You can end the call by pressing the query key again. If you want to visit the patient in person later on, you can activate the reminder function on the communication terminal instead. To do so, press the respective presence button for nursing staff, doctors, or service staff. The reminder activates the room light above the room door in the corridor in the corresponding color until the staff visits the call location and their presence is activated. A voice connection can also be established at the nurse's station or from mobile devices. To operate the staff terminal, unlock the screen by either swiping over the display or lifting the handset. Tapping on the respective call establishes a voice connection. Terminating the voice connection and activating a reminder is done in the same way as on the communication terminal by pressing one of these buttons. If care staff needs additional help, Visocall IP offers a variety of assistance calls, such as emergency calls to a second nurse, a doctor, or to a heart alarm team. Calls will be immediately forwarded to the right place. This allows the fastest possible help to be given by the right staff. When a green presence is activated, the red call button on the communication terminal or the patient's handset activates an emergency call. In addition, when the green presence is active on the communication terminal, pressing the blue call button triggers a doctor call. A heart alarm call is triggered in 2 steps by activating the yellow presence and then pressing the blue call button. All types of emergency calls can be triggered from all devices that have the corresponding call buttons. If the connection cable from the patient's handset is inadvertently pulled out of the connection module, its disconnection is signaled immediately for safety reasons. The staff must restore the connection as quickly as possible to enable the patient to make a call. After a visual check for damage, reinsert the connection cable of the patient terminal into the connection module. Please wait after plugging in until the red call button on the handheld unit flashes. Now press this button once to activate the unit. The LED turns off and the unit is ready for operation again. To log off a patient terminal intentionally, press the green presence button for 3 seconds after disconnection. In addition to the call and presence buttons, both the communication terminal and the room terminal offer further buttons and functions. When the presence button is activated, the display shows pending calls from other rooms with detailed information about the call type and location. Use the function buttons to the right of the display to adjust volume, brightness, and contrast. Various radio functions can be used on the communication terminal. The query key on the communication terminal is used to accept pending calls from other rooms and for the announcement function. Many patient therapies used in everyday care require a certain application time. The timer function on the communication terminal generates an automatic reminder call after a desired time. The function buttons next to the display are used to initialize the timer function and to set the required time. The timer values can be set at minute intervals for the first 5 minutes and in 5-minute intervals afterwards. The remaining countdown time is shown on the display. After the time has expired, a reminder call is triggered, which you will receive in other rooms with activated presence or at the nurse's station. To get a better overview, we now want to go through the most important functions of the staff terminal together. The user interface is divided into main areas: the status bar, the tab bar with the list tabs, the list area, and the function area. Open the relevant tab by briefly pressing one of the 4 list tabs in the upper section. The call list on the far left shows all current pending calls sorted by call priority. Next to it is the tab with a list of all rooms with current reminders. To the right is the tab with a list of all rooms with activated presence. On the far right is the tab for displaying various system messages. If you have selected a tab, you can access the complete room overview by clicking on the same tab again. The presence level is selected in the same way as for the room terminals, using the buttons in the function area. You can request assistance by pressing one of the call buttons. The other buttons have helpful additional functions, such as ward interconnection, announcement functions, or the phone function. To manage the calls of a neighboring station as well, activate the interconnection function by pressing the button and then select the desired station from the list above. During the night, you can activate the centralization function. This suppresses the optical and acoustic call forwarding in the patient rooms. Please confirm the centralization afterwards. To adjust the volume to your needs, you can adjust the individual ranges separately by pressing the volume button. To listen to a radio program, press the radio button in the function area and select the desired station from the list above. You can end the radio program by pressing this button. You can use the announcement function to reach as many people of a certain group as possible. Announcements can be either made from communication terminals or staff terminals. Depending on which presence levels are active on the communication terminal, the announcement is played back wherever the same presence is active. Green for nurses and service staff, blue for doctors, green and blue simultaneously for announcements to the whole staff. Pressing the query key starts the announcement until you release the button. If you do not make the pre-selection, the announcement will reach all rooms on your ward. On the staff terminal, announcements can be made with the telephone handset or the hands-free function. As before, 4 announcement options are available. Start your announcement by pressing the desired announcement button and end it with the hang up button or by hanging up the handset. Specific staff can also be addressed explicitly using the staff terminal. To establish a voice connection, open the room list by pressing one of the list tabs twice. The complete room overview is displayed. The room signal lamp symbols allow you to see the rooms where staff is located. A room can be selected by clicking on the corresponding entry. Now a voice connection to the communication terminal of the corresponding room can be established by using the voice connection button. A voice connection can also be established directly to patients. For this purpose, after the relevant room has been selected in the room overview, the patient terminal is called by pressing a bed entry. All handheld units can control the room or reading light. This is done using the light control buttons on the respective unit. With the patient control units POT and POT Easy, patients can easily use additional components, such as blinds. To do this, the patient presses the Special Function button and selects the corresponding display entry. The desired function can now be triggered by pressing the plus or minus buttons. Close the menu by pressing the Special Function button again. The high-end terminals POT and POT Easy provide a variety of additional entertainment options. For the TV function, the TV set is turned on with the TV button. Now the patient can change channels using the program selection buttons, P+, P-, or the numeric keypad. If the program selection button is pressed for 3 seconds, the TV advances by 10 channels. The TV sound is conveniently transmitted to the patient terminal and can be heard via the handset, the hands-free option, or through headphones. The volume can be adjusted with the plus or minus volume buttons. The teletext function is controlled by this button. The patient turns the TV set off by pressing the TV button again. The radio program is also available at the touch of a button. Program selection and volume control is the same as for the TV function. The communication terminal can also be used as a room radio. Press one of the function buttons next to the display. The radio menu appears on the screen. The top button is for program selection. The middle one is the volume setting, and the bottom one is for display brightness and contrast settings. Both in the program selection as well as in the volume control, the settings are made with the 2 upper buttons. The bottom button also brings you back to the radio menu. The radio can be turned off again by pressing P- repeatedly until no channel is selected. The phone function allows patients to contact friends or relatives at any time. The phone button is used to answer an incoming call or to initiate an outgoing call. Patients can now dial a phone number using the numeric keypad and establish the connection with the OK button. In addition, the patient handset offers a convenient redial function. For this purpose, after pressing the phone button, the patient chooses one of the last 10 dialed phone numbers with P+ or P-. Press OK briefly to call the desired number. The phone call is ended by pressing the phone button. The volume of the voice connection can be adjusted during a call using the volume buttons. Staff can also make calls using the staff terminal. Tap on the handset symbol in the functional area to open the phone menu. You can dial a phone number using the numeric keypad and by tapping the telephone handset icon. The staff terminal also has a call list and phone book function. These two views can be accessed via the corresponding buttons. The phone book contains a list of important numbers that can be called upon selection. The call list shows the last dialed phone numbers. Pressing the red X symbol lets you leave the respective menu. Now you are aware about all the functions of our nurse call and communication system. We wish that Visocall IP makes your life more convenient and hope that your daily clinical routine becomes more efficient.